Good day, guys. I hope we're all good. I hope we're all good. Just waiting for my brother to join there. Welcome, bro. Hey, I'm sorry I'm late. I delayed a bit. But anyways, let's get started. So we're going to start with C300. C300, we were anticipating a sell yesterday from this broken order block here. We're waiting for this retest, but again, this price failed to come to this target which we had. So what ended up happening is price actually came back up to that zone on top. Okay, price came back up to the zone on top and they hit the 200 EMA. You can see the range, right? So they hit the 200 EMA. They hit the previous day's high as well. Then they started to show signs of reversal. So as soon as we see this price action here, if you're still stalking, this one I wasn't stalking. That's why you see there's nothing marked here. But if you see that price action, if you're stalking and you start seeing the H1 reversal candles, what you simply do is you come down to the M15. You want to locate the highest high. You want to locate the order block. Then you want to sell either at the break of the order block or at the retest. So sometimes price will just drop, sometimes they will retest. So in this example, the break paid out, the retest also paid out. So it looks like we will most likely get to this zone now. It's still a possibility, but again, with these indices, you never know. Like for example, yesterday you can see I was even waiting for price to actually break this level as well for a safe sell, but they never came there. So today, possibly, if we get a nice break here, we might get something like this. So this is the target. For any sell we take, this is the target. But we want to see this level here, this level here, this level here get broken nicely and potentially retested. Then we can take a trade. In terms of sell limits at the top, let's see. So for this, I'm just going to jump back to H1 because I need a bit of a higher time frame. Okay, so we've got this structure which was broken there. Which is within an H1 imbalance or fair value gap. So if we just zoom in so that we can all see, okay, that's the fair value gap. This is the broken structure there. 21.95, 21.95. That's the broken structure. So that right there is a possible sell limit if price decides to retrace. So when we jump to M15 now, we want to see what it lines up with. Okay, so on M15, we're just going to adjust it a little bit. Okay, perfect. So for me, that will be a point of interest for sales. So it's either we might get a sell or price reacting on that area, or they will decide to come to this particular level here. This one is simply the same. Okay, we have a broken structure as well as an imbalance. So we've got these two as well. So if we do happen to break the first level, price might most likely get to this area. But I feel like this level might be a bit stronger because we also have the 50 and the 200 EMA there, which will be acting as dynamic resistance. So if we can get price creating the lower high here. So remember, we're coming from this high. We've got this higher low here. Then we've got a lower low here, a lower high here, lower low here. So we need some form of lower high for us to get a high probability sell. So once that's created, we are going to be looking for a potential order block to be broken and for the pattern to form again so that we can take a sell. But at the same time, we can still take sells as long as we understand the candles as they are rejecting the zone, then we can execute on sells. So that's it for C3. I'm going to leave it on M15. Then C1. C1 yesterday we took a sell, but I think I advised that it was short term because this bias was not too clear for me. So again, you can see we got something which is looking like a range. Extend this. Okay, we've got something looking like a range as well, even though price failed to get to the bottom zone here. So let me just look at the daily. Based on the daily price action, we came up, then we've been going sideways. If we break the top part of this side we move or this range, price will continue being bullish. We're still trading about the 13 EMA, so we're most likely going to be bullish. Unless the current daily candle turns bearish, then we can start looking for a sell pattern. So again, each one will have to wait for price to come below the 13 EMA so that we can take a trade. So yesterday we had sells. They sort of pushed up. I'm not sure if you guys were taken out here, but eventually they actually gave the sell which we wanted. I actually waited for them here as well. I remember I executed a trade here before I slept and I had a stop loss here. I just had one runner because I thought they would still run to the downside. But price took me out with this swipe up. So for today, this is my only point of interest for now, just to see if we can get a bounce and a drop or price might push up. Then if we don't get the, just wait for price to come below the 13 EMA, then we can consider looking for short-term sells. So nothing too solid on C1 for now. Then C5, C5 also gave like a short-term sell yesterday. Both C5 and C1 trades were short-term. You can see we had a safe sell right below this price line. So if we're looking to the left, this was the TP. Once we say short-term, just know that we're not holding for too long. The next point of interest was this. It quickly ran to TP and this trade was done. Then today, what I see here, we've got this high broken zone here, fair value gap there. So all this is happening while it's sleeping. So I'm not really worried about this. But now price started to like push down. This is where my attention comes in now after seeing this. So we've got a nice solid push, although it looks like it's already moved almost the full daily range. We could still get a continuation down. That's possible, but I would have preferred to catch it maybe somewhere here or here to TP at this 800 EMA. Because usually once you see this moving average, sometimes it can be very strong in such a way that price can actually start to retrace and push up. So for now, just based on what I marked, for now, this is my point of interest. You can see is this order block here. Then the next point of interest is this broken level and this order block as well. So where those two red lines are, those are my points of interest. But in terms of bias now, so remember yesterday I mentioned we still want this price to come outside these moving averages. So if price decides to push down, we will be below the 13, and I'll be happy to get it close below the 13 so that tomorrow we can confidently sell. But for now, still tricky. It could still push up, it could still push down. So we are just open to selling this. Once price gets to our points of interest there, we are trading below the 13 EMA, which gives us a bias. This one, which gives us a bias. So we do have a confirmation of a possible selling bias as long as we remain below the 13 EMA. To the left, broken zone, broken zone, broken zone. So all these are possibilities that we could actually see this price come back down all the way to this level here. So point of interest, point of interest. Let's see what happens on these two levels. If they break, then that will be a different setup forming. Most likely, we might extend these highs from today, these highs from yesterday, maybe tap into this level here. But we'll see. I'll let you guys know as the day progresses. So again, you can see we had this channel which I drew a few days back. So I'm still looking forward for price to come to the downside as well. So we'll just see what happens and we'll trade accordingly. B5 has been strong, bearish. We mentioned we might get buys right on these two black lines. So let's see. On the daily, I do not have a buy yet, but I can see I've hit a dynamic support zone, which is the 200 EMA on the daily. So we might get those spikes pushing up. H4, with this high, strong push down, no retracement. So if the push up comes, it could be that retracement move for this 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour, you can see we have that order block, which is just true. We've got these lows from last week. I think it's almost the same zone. Let me use this. Okay, it's just on the same area. So for me, if we do push up, that's a possible area where price can get to right there. But for now, nothing is showing us that we can push up. H1, we're now above the 13 EMA. Price might potentially push back to the 50 level on the TDI, giving us that buy we want. So here a safe buy would be above this level here. Let's see if we can get something else. Remember, we are buying the support on the 200 EMA on the daily. So if we see anything showing us a buy on a smaller time frame, we should actually execute because chances are it will actually play out. So why did I say this is the safest buy? Because this is the lowest low and that's the last high or the order block which we see. So if we can come above here, most likely we might get here, but either way, we'll be looking forward for a short-term buy. M15. Okay, we right on the yellow baseline. Nothing too convincing. We are bouncing right on yesterday's lows. As you can see, this is yesterday's lows. So you can see, if you can see that dotted line there, that's the previous day's lows. So right here now, if I can break this last high here, that could be an early entry for me. Then if we come back above the 50 or above this first black line, I might add. Then when we come to the safe buy area, I might add again or I might take profit. It just depends with my positioning within this area if the price decides to push up. But this will be the safe buy. And I'll be looking forward for price to get to the 4-hour order block, which is right there at the top. So we could actually get a good move. We could actually get a good move. It's all about timing. So two things can happen. They might decide to play on these lows, continue trapping people the whole day, or they might decide to just move fast. So we might just get quick moves. It can even happen within the hour. Just get a quick push up, then price continues pushing down. That can also happen, but again, we just have to try to be a little bit patient and wait for the best pattern, because you can see it's been a strong bearish. The only reason we're buying now is we are on a dynamic support. We've taken out liquidity here and we've also hit this order block here. So that's my reasoning for buying. And if you're buying, it's just a retracement. Same with these small retracements which you see. So it will just be a potential retracement, and that's what I'm looking forward to execute on. So I'm going to leave this on M15 and I'm going to be actively stoking B500 because of all the assets we've checked now, I feel like this has potential to actually play out. Okay, then going to B1000. Yesterday we said we're not trading unless the daily candle turns bullish. It never turned bullish, and I don't think there was any buy opportunity yesterday. As you can see, there was no buy opportunity. So we just analyzed and we stuck to our rules. We didn't execute anything on B1. So again, it looks like now we've taken out liquidity. So now the potential or possibility of a buy is now there. But at the same time, we should know that price will most likely get to the 50 EMA as well. So at this point, price can play out either way. The best would be potentially to wait for either the daily to turn bullish for us to buy or to get price come above the 13 EMA with a convincing pattern. Then we can also consider a buy. So if we can come about the 13 EMA convincingly here, we can still take a short-term buy, which will be just a retracement happening on the daily chart because I feel like this price will still continue pushing down, maybe to the 50, even to these gray zones on the bottom here, price can get there. So what we'll be trading will just be like a reversal. So I'm going to leave this on B1 and I'll also be actively stoking on this. Step index. Yesterday, what happened? I'm not sure what bias we had, but from what's marked on the charts, you will notice that we had a zone here and we had this broken structure here. So price simply came back to retest right into the zone, retested the 13 EMA and continue to sell. So I want you to also notice that the best setups always form if the market is trending. If you catch a trend, that's when the best setups are most likely to form, because as long as you've got a bias and your H1 agrees, you should know that your setup will actually be having high probability. If your bias from the daily or from a higher time frame agrees or falls in line with the H1, just know that the trade you take will actually have high probability of playing out, and that's for trending markets. So today, what are we looking forward to? Prices hit the target where I thought they would get to. They've hit that area. Could we continue pushing down? I feel like we could, just based on this market structure as well. You can see it's been a strong downtrend even on the daily. Nice impulsive pushes, nice retracements, impulsive retracement, impulsive. So I feel like this impulsive might drop a little bit more. Let's just check what we have on the weekly. Okay, the weekly, you can see how solid it is for now. Anything else on the far left? I think these could be the all-time lows. So price is most likely setting the all-time lows. From the TDI, you can see that there is a higher chance that this low will actually be extended. Price might come around the 32 level. That's when we'll get that retracement. So for now, I would say my bias is bearish. So with a bearish bias, I just have to come to H1 and look for an entry. The best entries on H1, if you use moving averages, they always happen near the 13 EMA or near whatever moving average you use. So just look at your H1, check the moving average you use. Your best entries will happen when price is closer to that moving average in the direction of the trend, of course. So in this example, again, best sell would have been here, best sell would have been here. A continuation sell is very possible. So I'm just going to mark the low of today. Okay, somewhere there, the low of today. Then I'm going to mark a level. That's it. This is a broken zone, right? We have to agree. We see a broken zone there. If we look to the far left, this zone almost falls in line with this price action on the far left. So Let me just move this black line. That's also a point of interest for sales, by the way. So price can give a deeper retracement, come and meet the 50 EMA and also bounce off this resistance zone, then drop. That's also a possible play. But if we break today's lows without coming up right here, once we break today's lows, I feel like I can actually go short. I can sell this. And the TP will be open since we're setting all-time lows. TP will just be open. So at the break of today's lows, I'm going to actually execute a sell. And if I get anything I can use as well around this area, let's say price gives an impulse move, then comes back to retest, I can still sell just because I've got a higher time frame selling bias. Right here, we see this baseline on the TDI. They might give a double baseline, which is one of my favorite signature trades. If I see a double baseline, just know the sell which will be coming is going to make you money. So that's the other thing I'll be looking forward to. So you can even wait for price to just drop without you, then wait for a retracement. If the retracement happens and the pattern is there, then you can execute a high probability sell. You can also approach the market that way. Then we say price can still push up here, extend these highs, then come create a pattern in this area. So if they happen to do that as well, we can still sell from the top and the TP will still be open. And if we break this level, we'll still be looking for a continuation sell, as I feel like price could still be setting or creating all-time lows. So that's it for step. Then last but not least, J10. Okay, J10, yesterday, what did we talk about? Let me just check the daily. I think I mentioned that price is still in the range and we are right on the 13 EMA. We have no clear direction. So it's the same. Yesterday's daily candle didn't break above. Today's current candle is also trading above the 13 EMA and below the zone. So again, there's no bias here. There's no bias at all. If you want to trade J10, maybe if you can wait for a break of this trend line, maybe get a break of this last order block here, of which at the same time I also see like there's a fair value gap here. So if my price comes above, let me say if we come above this gray zone, right, and we break the trend line, then we come back to retest something, then I can consider a short-term buy. You can take that, but again, just know that there's no directional bias, so price can literally go anyway. Same applies to yesterday. Imagine selling here, getting into profit, then price still comes, puts you in loss. Selling here takes you into profit, pulls back up, puts you into loss. So when we say it's a no bias day, these are some of the things which happen. Those are just frustrating days to trade. So I would say no trade yesterday. I don't think I'll take a trade here, but I'll just love to watch what price does between this level and this level. Then V75, I'm not really going to look at it. I had just put it yesterday. I was back testing with someone. So I just thrown it there, but nah, I won't be trading that one. So I think that's it from me today. Let's actively stoke. B1 can give us something. B5, if it does what we anticipated, it can give us something. What it could do is they could extend the lows, right? They could extend to these lows, maybe create either equal lows, maybe create some sort of divergence setup on the TDI. But at the end of the day, what we are looking for is for price to create a low, then we break something to show that it wants to push up. Then we take the short-term buy. So the short-term buy will definitely come. Most likely it will come. We just have to actively stoke on it. So we're stoking B1, we're stoking B5, we are stoking C5 as well. Then C1, we might have to wait a bit to get more confluence. C5 we're also stoking, but I'll mainly focus on C5, B5, and B1. So I'll remove this, and I'll leave these three. This just allows me to keep track of price. Like for example, I've got C5 here. I'll just keep track of H1. Once I get a nice candlestick, then I'll look for a pattern to execute. Same applies to B1 actually. Let's just wait for price to come above the 13 EMA as well. So I'm going to leave this on H1, just zoom in a bit. Then B1 looks like they could push now, going back to the 13 EMA, but we need a convincing close above this safe buy for us to actually consider taking the trade. So I'm just going to leave this on H1 as well so that I can pay attention to price. So thank you so much for joining. If you're watching this on YouTube, and if this content is helping, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also comments. And today is Wednesday, so we have our free Forex live trading session, and we only trade New York session. So we're going to catch up. Stock market opens, not when the New York session opens. We catch up about what 1 hour 30 minutes after New York opens. So that'll be 15:30 or 3:30 SA time. We're going to have a live trading session, and we'll most likely be looking at US 30 and Nasdaq. If we don't have anything, maybe we might look at something else. But those are the items I'll be trading this afternoon. So if you trade those, you can join. If you've got questions, you can still join, then ask your questions. As we wait for our setups to form, we'll actually address any questions you might have. So thank you so much for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good trading.